We'll start the series tonight. And on display are two of the best power hitters in the game, both leading their leagues in home runs. So with the rain out of the way, the only remaining threat are the bats of Harper and Davis. It's the Orioles on Masson on a gorgeous night at our nation's capital. It's the Orioles and Washington Nationals Interleague Baseball Game 1 of this three-game series. And hi, everyone. I'm Jim Hunter. Of course, to contend for a playoff spot in the major leagues, you have to play consistent baseball all year long. And you do that by getting dependable starts out of your rotation. Last year, the Orioles got it, and they won the AL East. This year, they haven't, and they're on the outside looking in. And when you look back at the numbers last year, it's amazing how consistent the Orioles starters were. Prior to the All-Star break, 68 wins with a very impressive ERA. This year, the Orioles starters just 46 wins with a high ERA prior to the break. And since the break, it's been less reliable. Last year's team won 33 games after the break. That was the most in the American League with an ERA below 3. This year, just 18 wins since the break and an ERA over 5. Very difficult to win when you're allowing that many runs. And, Mike, what is so puzzling about this team and this rotation, for the most part, it's the same rotation.
Well, you're right. And I think for the most part, last year, they all just kind of passed the baton. It was a young group together, all kind of finding themselves at the same time. And they really went on a nice little run the second half of the season. Well, this year, I think they just tried too hard. I think Tillman, I think Gonzalez, maybe there were some injuries, who knows. But they were a little off all season long, could never settle in and never got to that groove like they did in the second half of last season where everybody came together as a unit. And they tried even the minor leagues. Kevin Gausman's done an okay job. Mike Wright, you know, he hasn't been very successful in his opportunities as a starter either. So, you know, it's going to be a matter of regrouping the troops. These guys can't try as hard. They got to trust the defense behind them, put the ball in play with quality strikes, and good things will happen. And tonight it's Ubaldo Jimenez on the mound going for his 100th Major League win. It's the O's and Nats from D.C. Lineups and first pitch are next. By Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. And by Royal Farms, world famous chicken and western fries made fresh, never frozen, real fresh, real fast. Royal Farms.
Well, Oriole fans do make the trip down the BW Parkway to see their team. Here's their BGE home game time temperature of 71 degrees. BGE Home is Baltimore's home team for heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical. Why would you call anyone else? So the opener of this 3-game series. Here's a look at the O starting lineup brought to you by Southwest. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. Raimel Machado and Davis with Pierce in the cleanup spot. He's been coming on the last couple of games. Scope will be at second, and Joseph Hardy-Lake with Ubaldo Jimenez pitching and batting ninth.
And let's take a look at Gio Gonzalez's pitch arsenal this season. The fastball 66% of the time. He throws at 90 to 94 miles an hour, but his two-seamers come up big against the righties this year. Curve and change to go along with it. 11 wins with a 3.83 earned run average for Gonzalez. Take a look at the rest of his numbers, holding opponents to a .271 batting average this season. There's that ground ball percentage up this year, 55%. Talked about that two-seam fastball. Likes to throw it to the righties off that changeup as well.
Gets ahead of Reimold 0-1, and Nolan takes down and in, and a ball and a strike. Reimold 1 for 7 on the trip. He sees at .248. Batting an even .300 since coming back to the team. And an all-speed pitch and a swing and a miss, and it's 1-2.
There's a look at that changeup. Gonzalez effectively wild at times. Sometimes he'll get out of the strike zone, especially when he gets ahead in counts like this. He'll expand the zone, maybe change some eye levels, then get back in with a nasty pitch.
Strike 3 call, fastball right there. So Reimold the quick out, and a strikeout to begin the game for Gio Gonzalez.
Well, Nolan didn't like this call. I don't think Buck did either. You see Lobaton setting up inside. Looks like it catches the square on the pitch track. Up and in to Reimold for strike 3.
Gonzalez averages 8.6 Ks per 9 innings, so he is definitely a strikeout pitcher. And he has always been that way in his career. Here's Manny batting at .289. And tonight playing in his 150th consecutive game, which amazingly is the longest active streak in Major League Baseball. And a comebacker right to Gonzalez. And Machado's retired in 2 quick outs. Well, the Orioles playing a late interleague series, and they do have a few hitters with interleague success. Manny Machado, .326, 9 home runs, 29 RBIs. How about J.J. Hardy, 22 homers at 61 RBIs, and Chris Davis, 27 home runs and 54 RBIs. Pretty impressive.
Damage. Heck yeah, they do some damage. I'm more impressed with Manny, though. Such a young age. You just mentioned his streak at 150 games. I think he came in this season with something to prove. You know, a couple early knee injuries for him, and there were some question marks. Is Manny going to be able to stay healthy? Well, I think he's proven everybody wrong.
Davis first ball swinging into the shift. The long throw across bounces and dropped at first base by Robinson. Desmond got it across, but the throw bounced. So Davis is on. The O's have a 2-out base runner.
So something that's overlooked a lot with Chris Davis is his speed. He's always hustling down the line, puts a little pressure on Desmond. He's got to get rid of it a little bit quicker. Can't get his feet underneath him. Short throw, and Robinson can't pick it up at first.
Well, Desmond has not had a good year defensively. Waiting for the official scoring here. And that gets Pierce up with a man on and 2 down. And that's an error on Desmond. So for Desmond, that is his 27th error of the year. Of course, he's in his walk year. He's a free agent after the season, so not exactly what he had hoped for going into free agency.
No, he got off to a real slow start this season defensively, and I'm surprised the number's only at 27 for the way he started. And you could tell his confidence was shaken early on, but he has played much steadier here recently for this team.
They play Pierce straight away. And a high fly ball to center field. That's playable for Michael Taylor. And he will put it away, and the O's are down in the first. So the 2-out error, a man left, will head to the bottom of the first. Ubaldo goes to work for the O's. first. Here's the Nats lineup for the bottom of the first. Rendon, Escobar, and Bryce Harper in the middle. I think he's having a good month. Worth, Robinson, and Desmond with Taylor in center field. Lobaton will catch. Gio Gonzalez will pitch and bat ninth.
Good month. How about a good year? Let's take a look at Ubaldo Jimenez's pitch arsenal this season. The fastball 64% of the time when he's on. That two-seam fastball is the key. Breaking ball, the slider, and the change. Of course, that split finger. Strikeout pitcher, averaging over 8 strikeouts per start. 29 starts this year, 11 wins. 4.31 earned run average with 150 punch-outs in the 155 innings of work. You see the opponent's hitting 261, right? He's up to 287 with the lefties because of that splitty down at 236.
And here is Anthony Rendon, who is playing at second base tonight. He is a versatile player, also plays third base. He was drafted as a third baseman out of college, and there's a fastball for a strike, and there's a good sign for Ubaldo.
Yeah, a lot of his success hinges on his ability to command the fastball, especially down in the zone. When he starts feeling good about that pitch, he isn't afraid to throw the two-seamer at any time.
Ubaldo, a no decision in his start last Tuesday, so it's been a week because of the rainout. That was against the Red Sox. He did leave the game with a lead, 5-4. That was the game that Brian Mattis allowed the home run late. Boston tied it, and then the Orioles won an extra inning, 6-5. But that could have been a win for Ubaldo. Instead, it was a no decision. Ground ball weakly at the short. There's Hardy. And across for the out and one away.
Take a look at the Orioles defense. Reimhold late getting to start in center field with Jones down, back spasm. Pierce over in right. Hardy and Scope double play combination. Machado and Davis on the corners, and Caleb Joseph behind the plate. Last time Junior Lake was in center field. Take a look at this effort when he was out in center with the Cubs, crashing off the center field wall. Had to come out of that ball game. Ooh, hit hard.
Yeah, Adam Jones better today. Still has the spasm, so Buck Showalter has him on the bench. Wouldn't say if he's available or not. He never talks about strategy. Here's Yunel Escobar, is having a real good year in his first season with the Nationals. A 324 batting average is 4th in the league. He's got 47 multi-hit games, and he's batting .351 here at home.
Yeah, he's been swinging it, and he kind of resurrected his career with Tampa, and of course a longtime shortstop. Moved around a little bit. Desmond, the everyday shortstop here, but he's filled in nicely at third base.
Ubaldo falls behind 3-0. Not a good idea with Harper on deck. Ubaldo, the no decision last Tuesday. He had won his prior 2 starts, and they were both on the road. He beat the Blue Jays in Toronto, then beat the Yankees in New York. And there's a strike as Escobar takes all the way. He's had a very streaky season. 7-3 in his first 15 starts for Dave Wallace. And ball 4 outside. There's a 1-out walk. After starting 7-3 in his last 14 starts, he's gone 4-6. So that's why his record stands at 11-9. And now he's got to face Bryce Harper with a man on. If the Nats were in a more favorable playoff position, and he still might, but he probably would be the leading contender for MVP. He's had that kind of a year.
Yeah, I think he probably still is. There may be some other candidates that people are looking at, but he is just blowing the competition away. The year he's had has been so impressive. You showed his numbers here in the month of September, so he hasn't let up one bit. He has been the most consistent and dominant offensive player in the game this year.
He is leading the National League in batting with that .343 average. He is first in home runs with his 41, and he is tied for 4th in RBIs with 95. And he looks over a couple of fastballs. Ubaldo gets ahead of him 0-2.
I'll take a look at the good news, though. Bryce Harper against the O's in his career, just .208. That's the lowest versus any opponent since 2014. Just the .120 batting average. 8 strikeouts and 25 at bats. He's only gotten 3 hits against the O's. The Orioles pitched him tough.
And he won't chase the breaking ball, so a ball and 2 strikes. Harper bats .353 versus right-handed pitching. And how does he hit at home? How about 360 in this ballpark?
He loves it here.
A runner at first, one down, no score, just underway in D.C. And a good batting eye, and he takes outside. Now Harper will strike out. Ubaldo, a strikeout pitcher. Harper has struck out 121 times, but Mike, he's also walked 115 times.
Yeah, pretty amazing. So he has a great idea of his strike zone, and when it's in his strike zone, he'll let it fly. If there's enough movement, he may swing and miss. But if he catches you, he's going to do some damage.
Well, he has seen 5 pitches, and he has yet to swing the bat. Ubaldo goes from 0-2 to 3-2.
A lot of teams that have success against Ubaldo are patient. They wait him out, prove. He's got to prove that he can be consistent in the zone with all of his pitches.
They're back-to-back walks, first and second, and one away.
See Ubaldo this season on the fastball. The opponents are hitting 271, but that split finger is devastating. Just a 196 batting average. That's his strikeout pitch, though. Slider at 262. Usually when he throws that curve, it gets hit pretty hard as well. 300, and then the occasional straight change. 500 batting average. Getting ahead with the quality pitches is a key for Ubaldo. Talked about the fastball and his ability to locate that two-seam fastball, but if it's off at all, teams will be patient and there will be a hittable pitch on the plate.
Brings up Jason Worth, first and second, one down. And it's over but low, 1-0. So Ubaldo struggling with his command here early on. Back-to-back walks, and the Harper one really hurts as he got ahead of Bryce 0-2. Worth is 3 for his last 13, another injury-plagued season for the outfielder. A one-time first-round draft pick of the Orioles back in 1997 out of high school in Illinois. He was a catcher at the time, the number 22 pick in that first-round draft in '97. There's a strike at the knees.
Help him out a little bit. See Ubaldo first inning runs, 15 allowed, 14 earned in his 29 starts this season.
Escobar the lead runner, Harper the trail runner. Showalter anxiously looking on. And a strike at the knees. So 2-2 after getting ahead. Worth did 2-0.
Jason Worth not liking the height of those last 2 fastballs, but going to get that low strike. Better stay down there. Prove you can hit that spot consistently. You see the pitch track. They are borderline. Caleb Joseph receiving them well, but that's the type of pitch you're going to get swings on the split finger.
And did it bounce or did it hit his bat? Escobar is going to third. Brian Honora did not make a signal at all. Now he does. Now he says foul ball. Of course, Escobar would like him to call it immediately so he would know. Right. Honora never signaled foul ball. And he told Escobar to get back to second base. We are so far away from home plate, it's hard to tell if the ball bounced and hit the bat. Yep, here we are. Hi. Hi, players. This is the highest broadcast and press location in all of the 30 major league stadiums. So 2-2 on Worth. Strike 3 call, a fastball right there. I don't know what Worth was looking for, Mike, but with 2 strikes, you got to foul that off at a minimum.
Well, I think he was looking for that split finger. And 3-2 count. He gets another two-seam fastball, and this one all over the dish. See that great movement. Be careful, though, as it moves in over the heart of the plate.
Here's Clint Robinson, who's playing at first base. Ryan Zimmerman not in the starting lineup. And a strike, 0-1. There's Adam Jones on the bench hanging out with Steve Clevenger. Well, that might be an idea if Adam's going to get in the game. He does not have his Orioles jersey on. There's a slow roller out in front of the plate. Ubaldo, barehanded pickup, gets his man, and Ubaldo gets out of it. So a couple of walks, but 2 left. We'll head to the second in Washington. O's and Nats, no score. $500 for being selected, and will win $500 more for every Orioles home run hit tonight. You can play Baseball Bucks scratch-offs today and win up to $50,000 instantly. Learn more at mdlottery.com/baseball. So Adam holding court at the tail end of the dugout. Dario Alvarez there with Manny. What's Miguel doing there? That's not a pitcher's meeting. Jimmy Paredes.
Sometimes you learn the most.
There you go.
Hitters or pitchers.
Jonathan Scope leads off in the scoreless game. Ball one outside. Joseph and Hardy will follow. John had his hitting streak halted at 12 on Sunday in Tampa. And a bouncer to short. Desmond an in-between hop. And Scope retired one away here in the Orioles second. As part of Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, the Orioles are partnering with Maryland Governor Larry Hogan to raise funds for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society and Ronald McDonald House Charities, all against the fight against pediatric cancer. Now, the Orioles are contributing $50,000 to the cause, and they're encouraging fans to join in by visiting Orioles.com/charity to make a donation and take advantage of 50% off a ticket discount for each game next week against the Blue Jays. For all the details and to learn how you can contribute, visit Orioles.com/charity. Ball one to Caleb Joseph. Ooh, a high strike. Ryan O'Nora's strike zone pretty big tonight.
Yeah, it is.
He is the crew chief of this umpiring crew.
May potentially help Ubaldo. A change up right there from Gonzalez. But the two-seamer and the change that he's been working effectively against right-handers this season really increased that ground ball percentage by almost 10% over last year.
Gonzalez misses high. Gonzalez had a real interesting start to his career. He was a first-round pick of the White Sox in 2004. And then following the 2005 season when he was in A-ball, he was traded to the Phillies. Breaking ball bends around the plate. Good eye by Caleb. And then following the next season in 2006, when he was in Double-A, the Phillies traded him back to the White Sox. But he only lasted a couple of more seasons in Chicago. Still in Double-A, he was traded to Oakland. And there's a working one-out walk, Caleb Joseph. And he was in Oakland for 4 very successful seasons, 38 and 32. And then he was traded to the Nationals following the 2011 season. So he's now had 4 years here in Washington, and he's won 53 games. But how often do you see that? You have a top prospect traded away, and the team that trades him away gets him back. Right. And then they like him so much they traded him away again.
Yeah. Crazy game.
Here's J.J. Hardy. And that's outside 1-0. JJ's got a 2-game hitting streak going. 2 for 7. And there's a strike in the corner.
Gio's been a successful left-handed pitcher here in the last few seasons for the Nationals. He's starting to rack up the wins, and he's having himself a pretty solid September. This matchup here with Gonzalez and Ubaldo, both pitchers 2-0 this month, but Gonzalez just a 1.47 earned run average here this month. Ubaldo's up over 4, but good news, I guess, for Ubaldo. He's only given up the 1 home run in his 3 September starts, and going to find a way to slow this Nationals offense down. They've been very productive here recently.
Yeah, they're having a good month. 1-2 on Hardy. 1 out, 1 on. Ground ball foul wide of third. JJ in his last 8 games has 6 hits, batting at .207. He's had a tough year at the plate. He just hasn't been able to get a positive run going and then sustain that. I mean, nobody's going to get a hit in every game, but he's had trouble trying to contain those offers and the 2 for 20s and streaks like that.
He's been banged up quite a bit this year. Even starting the season off, coming out of spring training, was on the disabled list. So a lot of times there are nagging injuries, and when you try to make adjustments at the plate or you do something differently, You know, it just throws your timing and your rhythm off. And I think JJ's been dealing with that all season long.
So Paul Janisch there talking to Pierce. He's here just in case. He can sure pick it at shortstop.
Yeah, he's making the most of his opportunity, that's for sure.
Mike Griffin, the AAA pitching coach, is here, as is Ron Johnson, the Tide's manager. And Griff was telling me yesterday Janisch was outstanding at shortstop. And there's another walk, and that was a 7-pitch walk for Hardy. So he fouled off a couple of pitches, and now the O's have 2 on and 1 out. Mike, let's get a look inside the series between the Orioles and the Nationals.
Yeah, all time Orioles leading 36 wins with the Nationals 32 wins. Orioles out hitting the Nationals, but runs per game exactly the same. Home runs pretty close as well, and even the earned run average. So these guys played some pretty competitive baseball since they've been head to head against each other. Pretty ironic last season, both teams obviously winning their division, but identical records. A lot of similarities.
And last year each team had clinched their division championship by this time. For the O's it was September 16th. Junior Lake getting the start in center field. Buck Showalter said he picked Lake over Alvarez because Lake has more experience defensively in center. High fly ball to right. Harper's there going back on it. Onto the warning track that ball carries him right in front of the wall. He has it for the out. Joseph will tag and go to third. Hardy stays at first. The runners on the corner and 2 down. That ball carried a long way to right field.
It did. Lake put a pretty nice swing on it. A little backspin carry. Aided by the wind a little bit.
So now what the Orioles want to see, Ubaldo's teammates, that is, will he make contact? Now, in fairness to Ubaldo, he does have a hit on the year. And swung on and missed. Of course, all his years in the National League with the Rockies, he has the most experience at hitting of all the Orioles pitchers.
Yeah, he's not going to be scared up there. I've seen him take batting practice. Look at all the smiles. I love it when pitchers get a chance to hit.
Well, last week when the Red Sox were in, Scott Kubal had the pitchers who were expected to start in the series taking batting practice consecutive days on the field. And they really made it into a can you top this batting practice. Line drive, base hit center field for Ubaldo. The pitcher comes through and the O's grab the lead. That's how you get it done. And look at the bench for the Orioles.
Well, Manny Machado approving of that. Ubaldo helping himself. A little salute back to the dugout there. He's getting after with the swings. He says, hey, I got runners out here myself. Look at the bat path. Perfect swing there. Squares it up. Everybody on the bench up on top. Looks like a walk-off hit. A single for Ubaldo with an RBI on the end.
He's got 2 ribbies on the year. And it turns the lineup over. Hardy to second, Ubaldo at first. And here's Reimold. Line drive, base hit left field. Hardy will be set by Bobby Dickerson. Up at the ball is Worth. He fires towards the plate much too late. And the Orioles on back-to-back RBI hits with 2 men down have a 2-0 lead. Reimold jumped on the first pitch. So both walks, Mike, have come around the score.
Well, you like to see that. Yeah, and hurt by the 2 walks. Clutch hitting, obviously, from Ubaldo. And take a look at Reimold staying on this pitch and powdering it through the 5-6 hole. Elevated changeup.
Ubaldo stopped at second, and he was happy to do that. So Gio Gonzalez touched up here for a couple of runs. The walks have come back to hurt him. And a high pitch count inning for the Nationals left-hander. That gets Manny up. Oh, good swing, and he fouled it back.
Yeah, real nice pass. Gonzalez really targeting that outer third with the 2-seam fastball. Looks like some of the Orioles hitters targeting in that area as well. Manny, a nice healthy cut. First pitch fastball away.
Manny hit a comebacker his first at bat. High fly ball to right. Harper's there. And he will put it away for the final out. But the Orioles rally after the back-to-back walks Ubaldo and Reimold with RBI hits. Birds take a 2-0 lead. They have been trending backwards. Mike, on August 18th, the O's held a half-game lead for the #2 wild card spot, but since then it's been a struggle.
Well, it sure has, and you see the batting average down a little bit. Runs per game, hey, you'll take over 4 runs per game, but it's the earned run average, starting earned run average up over 6 here. You can't do a lot when the starters are giving up 6 runs per game. So, and really that's kind of been the story. Even though the offense has been kind of up and down all season long, the starters have never really been able to get on track.
Ubaldo tonight looking for a milestone win. It would be his 100th in the big leagues. He's 99 and 93, and this is 10th season. And he helped his cause with an RBI single to get the first run in. 22 pitches, Mike, in the first inning.
Yeah, let's see how he responds now after some time on the base pass, some adrenaline from getting that big base hit. Obviously excitement out there, but you don't know how pitchers are going to respond, especially American League pitchers, after they're used to sitting on the bench and watching their offense go to work, and he had to go get it done on the field himself.
He delivers to Ian Desmond inside, 1-0. Taylor and Lobaton will follow. Now, if you're Ubaldo, what you're seeking here is a 3-up, 3-down inning, so Gio Gonzalez will have to lead off the next inning. He is due 4th in the National second. Late swing, and he fouled it back. Ubaldo is 5-1 in his career against the Nationals with a very good ERA of 2.61, and this is his 8th career start against the Nationals. But he hasn't seen the Nationals since July 9th, 2011. And all of the prior 7 starts were as a member of the Rockies.
Right.
He has not faced them since coming to the American League. Foul tip, and it's 2-2. Now, in that game, July 9th, 2011, he went 8 innings, allowed 1 run. Danny Espinosa, who's on the bench tonight, played in that game. Ryan Zimmerman, who's on the bench tonight, played in that game. And Jason Worth, who's batting cleanup, played in that game. They went a combined 1 for 11. A little bit low for ball 3.
Buck talks about matchups and certain ballparks where players have had success. Maybe Ubaldo feels good about pitching against the Nationals, even though he hasn't faced them since 2011. Inner confidence.
So leadoff walk as Ubaldo walks his 3rd. It's now time for you to tweet your strongest fan photo. Use the hashtag OsCouchCam, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile. Here's Michael Taylor. You don't like to see your pitcher walk guys like Desmond and Taylor, who are among the league leaders in striking out in the National League. Desmond took off, then stopped, throw behind him, the first. He is out at first base. Why Desmond stopped, I don't know. Maybe he slipped, but an alert throw by Caleb Joseph. There goes the base runner.
Boy, that was a great heads-up play by Caleb Joseph. You got to have your head on a swivel. You got to understand what's going on in the game. He came out of the chute firing to first base. Nice blind tag by Chris Davis, reaching back, getting the glove on Desmond's chest. Play by the Orioles offense, and that'll take care of a walk in a hurry.
And a bunt. It's a good one. Ubaldo gets in Manny's way, and that's a base hit. Ubaldo's got to remember who's at third base. There isn't anyone better in baseball coming in on a ball for the bare hand. And Ubaldo got in the way.
Yeah, Manny looked like he had his sights on this. He's going down with the bare hand. And Ubaldo, fortunately, nobody getting hurt there. Ubaldo helping himself with the bat. He wants to do it all in this game. He got off like a cat as well, but the play was all Manny's. The little lack of communication there by Machado, screaming him off the ball.
Well, especially because Ubaldo's going towards the third base line. His back was to first base. Manny was coming in on the ball, so he had first base in his vision. So that's a base hit, a bunt single, first hit, and here's Lobaton. Throw to first high, or he might have had him. Taylor does run, and again, the scouting report against Ubaldo, teams run on him. He's allowed 21 stolen bases, and the Orioles have caught only 3 with Ubaldo on the mound. That is not a good percentage. And Taylor at first base, he's pretty good. He's got 15 steals in 18 attempts.
Yeah, Taylor the good speed. Desmond wanted to run as well. So the Nationals want to keep pushing the envelope here. They're not out of it, either are the Orioles, so keep playing good baseball, and until they say you're done, keep going.
And a strike taken by Lobaton, the switch hitting catcher. And so the Orioles have experience against Lobaton when he played for Tampa Bay. He was traded over to the Nationals just before spring training last year for Nathan Carnes, who is one of the starters for Tampa Bay. Lobaton out of Venezuela. Orioles at double play depth as Taylor leans off first and draws another throw.
The Nationals obviously very aware that Ubaldo's easy to run on, but a part of the running game against starting pitchers is you get it in their head, and then they have to speed up their delivery, and that can force them to make mistakes on the plate.
Lobaton felt that was high, and he's now in an 0-2 hole. And another throw to first. I always enjoy fans booing pitchers' throws to first. They want their guy to steal. Stop throwing over there. Line foul the other way, back out of play. You know, we talked about the starters' inconsistency in our open. And one of the things that they've had a real tough time doing is getting through 7 innings. And that's a magic number, because if you pitch 7 innings, it means you're pitching well, you're still out there, and your team has a chance to win. The Orioles are 30-14 when a starter goes 7 innings. 16 games above 500. Inside, and this month where they've needed wins and they haven't been as consistent as they'd like, they've had just 3 starts in the 18 games of 7 innings. Yeah. And wouldn't you know it, they're 3-0 in those games.
Sure. Yeah, it has been a problem for Buck Showalter in this rotation, getting deeper into ball games, and you set your goals, and the Orioles certainly had goals set this spring, and it might have been a matter of kind of getting outside of themselves, getting out of their own game plans that we saw them work so effectively last year, and pitching is it's such a fine line between you try too hard, you may overthrow and make mistakes, and we've seen that a number of times this year. We talked about the home runs that the Orioles have given up, and so many of them when they get ahead with 2 strikes.
Well, strike 3 called. He fooled him with an off-speed pitch, and Lobaton just let it go by. So a big out for Ubaldo and 2 down.
A couple questionable calls here in this at bat, but the high split finger gets away with it. Lobaton gives up on the pitch. Caleb Joseph lets it settle right into the zone.
So that is strikeout number 2. He's also walked 3, and here is Gio Gonzalez, the Nationals pitcher. 3 for 28 on the year with a couple of RBIs. The Nats took 2 out of 3 from the O's in Baltimore. It was July 10th, 11th, and 12th, the final series before the All-Star break. It's too bad that these games were scheduled in September and on weeknights, because if this was a summer weekend, say in August, there'd be a lot more fans in the stands. The 3-game series at Camden Yards between these teams drew 137,000 in the 3 games. And Ubaldo falls behind Gio Gonzalez 3-0. The smallest crowd in that 3-game series was 44,000. But, you know, it's September. Kids are back in school. People have to work. And there's a strike on the corner. And the other aspect of this particular week is Pope Francis arrived in Washington, D.C. about 4 o'clock this afternoon. And on television, they're telling you, don't drive. Stay away, stay home, don't go anywhere. Right? So I'm sure that's holding down attendance a little bit. So from 3-0 to 3-2 on the corner.
Well, I think if both teams were leading their divisions and possibly guaranteed a heading to the
no doubt about it.
it'd be
but still, I mean, the schedule makers in New York, they have to look at things like that. The rivalry series in the Interleague should be weekends in the summer. Runner goes on 3-2 and a swing and a miss, and Ubaldo comes back from 3-0 down to strike him out. So a walk, a hit, but 1 left. We're through 2, and the Orioles have a 2-0 lead. He has really been what has carried the Orioles in the month.
Oh, he sure has. 43 home runs this year. And let's not forget now, he had 4 home runs taken away from him. So he could be searching for that 50 spot. Take a look at Chris carrying the load. 377 batting average. The rest of the O's just 233. See the home runs, 8. Last month he hit 10 home runs and had 22 RBIs. The extra base hits 13, 15 walks, 18 runs. Chris Davis is a wrecking machine right now, and you know, for the last month or two, hoping that some of his teammates would jump on board and help bolster that offense.
And I think of all those categories, the fact that he's walked 15 times, that gives you an indication of just how well he's seeing the ball.
Well,
he's being patient.
You're right, and you know, I think Chris Davis, we've seen what he can do, obviously with the power, but his batting average shows that he can be a consistent producer with the batting average and his ability to get on base.
Rendon with the glove flip and one away in the O's third. Well, the O's are back on to begin the final week of the regular season. It begins on Monday with a 4-game series against the Blue Jays. On Wednesday, September 30th, all fans will receive the Miguel Gonzalez design El Mariachi t-shirt. So don't miss this year's final t-shirt giveaway and enjoy one more summer night at Oriole Park. For tickets, Orioles.com or 888-848-BIRD. Well, here is Steve Pearce. Breaking ball just does hit the corner. Pearce has a 3-game hitting streak going, and he's got 4 home runs and 8 RBIs in his last 9 games. Gonzalez in search of his 12th win. He's out of Hialeah, Florida. Drafted and signed by the White Sox out of high school. And Nora almost brought up the thumb. Gonzalez has struck out 1. He has walked 2, and both walks have scored. And cued to first base. The race is on. Gonzalez gets over there. Nicely done by Gonzalez, and 2 quick outs.
Well, that's what Gio Gonzalez does so effectively, and I mentioned him being, effectively wild. He wasted a couple fastballs up at the top of the zone, and then came back with a nasty changeup to get Pearce to hit it off the end there for the 2nd out of the inning. So he can make a Hall of Fame pitch after a couple non-competitive pitches.
Jonathan Schoop grounded out the shortstop his first at bat. Schoop now 4 for 17 on the road trip. With the rain out of last night, the series finale will be on Thursday, a 4:05 game. And both teams apparently are staying in order with their rotation. Swing and a miss. In order of the 3 that were scheduled in the series. There's one exception, though. Max Scherzer was scheduled tomorrow, and they don't mess with him. So it's his day he pitches. So Roark will pitch Thursday. He was supposed to pitch last night. There's Max. And there was a lot of intrigue about what the Nationals would do. There was a thought they might skip Roark. And a swing and a miss at a high fastball and a real quick 3-up, 3-down inning. Mid-third at Nats Park, 2-0 O's. Brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. By your local Mercedes dealership, and by PNC Bank for the achiever in you. Beautiful look at the Jefferson Memorial on the shores of the Potomac. And military recognition behind home plate. It's a nice gesture by the Nationals. Vado Jimenez going to work in the third. He'd love for a clean inning. 42 pitches to get through the first 2 innings. He's allowed 1 hit. He's walked 3, but no runs. Rendon, fastball backs him away from the plate.
Yeah, he's got to be able to get that two-seamer over early if he wants some quicker innings. Prove he can throw for strikes, and that's when you're going to get that early soft contact. It's in the two-seamer, down in the zone, then that splitty. As he'll start hacking. They do not want to have to try to attack that split finger with 2 strikes. Prove you're in the zone. He's had some trouble with this here in the early going. Already 3 walks.
Well, the Nationals are hopeful that by the time they get to the end of next week, the last 3 games of the season, that they will be right there with the Mets, because they finish up against the Mets in New York. And a strike on the corner. The Nats have won 3 in a row and 7 of 8 since a 5-game losing streak. Matt Williams' club is 6.5 back, 6 in the loss column to the Mets. And that bounces in there, so count goes full. The Nationals, after this series with the O's, will stay home. They have 3 games with the Phillies, then a day off on Monday, and then they have 3 in Atlanta against the Braves, who have had a miserable year, and then the 3 against the Mets. And there's a leadoff walk, 4th walk by Ubaldo.
See Ubaldo last year, major problems with command, 5.53 walks per 9 innings. And this year, much better, but tonight, problems with that command, 4 walks already. First couple innings.
And that elevates the pitch count, and among the reasons why he can't last deeper in games. He had that 5-4 lead last Tuesday against Boston, but he was lifted after 5 innings. Here's Escobar, who walked his first at bat, and there's a strike.
Escobar has been swinging the bat very well. See that average at 324, but in his last 12 games up over 400 at 431. Some good numbers against Ubaldo as well. 8 for 21 with a homer.
Yeah, that's not good when they're equal.
Got to get in that zone.
Chopper foul. Then he gets ahead of Escobar 1 and 2. Dave Wallace looking on. Buck actually looks calmer than Dave.
Buck had some concern early on.
Strike 3 called. He got him.
Once again, a fastball, kind of surprising a Nationals hitter. Baldo getting ahead. Take a look at the Nissan pitch track. That's where you want to work. Bottom of the zone. Escobar looking for a split finger. Gets the fastball. Strike 3. He got Worth on that same kind of sequence. Expecting off speed. Come with the heater.
And here is Bryce Harper, who represents the tying run. Those employ the shift on Harper. And it's popped up, foul near the dugout and over the screen.
Take a look at the highest slugging percentage this month. Well, Bryce Harper, perfect. At 1. Chris Davis right behind him. Well, we've seen Chris Davis on a daily basis put up the huge numbers. Cespedes, Castro, and Arenado on that list. But Harper coming into this game, 62 total bases and 62 at bats. Well, he walked in his first at bat, so 63 total bases.
Bunts against the shift, but it goes foul. Now that's a team player there. Here's Bryce Harper, who leads the National League in home runs. It's the tying run, but it's early in the game. And he sees that the Orioles are giving him the bunt, so he goes for it to get on base.
Yeah, fair or foul, though. You got to make sure down that line, and it's okay. He gets another chance. Do not want to make a mistake with an opportunity like that, so better to miss down that third base line. Foul. You see that Orioles defense shifted all the way around, respecting that big power.
0-2 backs him away.
There's a fastball up and in after the bunt attempt. Maybe some intention there.
Don't bunt on me. Fly ball, right center field. Actually, excuse me, just off the infield. Hardy has it. I'll get used to the sight lines eventually. Well, the O's close out the regular season with Fan Appreciation Weekend against the Yankees beginning next Friday, October 2nd. You can enjoy special events all weekend long, including post-game fireworks presented by Johns Hopkins Medicine. That's on Friday. Orioles knit bomber hats for the first 20,000 fans 15 and over on Saturday. And then the Steve Pierce Fans Choice bobbleheads presented by AT&T, first 25,000 fans 15 and over on Sunday. Get your tickets now, Orioles.com or 888-848-BIRD.
Getting after the popcorn.
Strike one to Jason Worth. Sharing the same bag, too. And even the Nats fans are allowed to have some. Strike two. Worth didn't like that call. You know, you're in the third inning. There's been enough pitches. Hitters need to understand that it is a pitcher strike zone tonight, so go up there and be aggressive.
On the pitch track, some of these pitches the hitters are complaining about are all in the box. There have been a couple questionable calls in the bottom of the zone, but that was a good slider there. I think Jason Worth was selling out on a fastball on the whole front side left and just gave the outer third to Ubaldo for an easy strike.
And that was courteous of Brian O'Nora. He knew Worth wanted to talk to him, so he dusted off the plate so the fans wouldn't see it. And said, anything else, Mr. Worth? Okay, let's get back to the game. Worth struck out his first at bat. Ubaldo has 4 strikeouts, and 3 have been called strikeouts. Way outside with the breaking ball.
Good try, though. When you have a two-seamer like Ubaldo and the ability to throw that slider just off the outside corner there, he can pull that two-seamer back.
Bounces, nice block by Caleb. So he was ahead, now 3-2, which means Rendon at first will get a head start. Count is full with 2 men down. Davis is going to back up behind him. There goes Rendon, and a swing and a miss. He got him. Worth goes down on strikes for a second time. That's 5 in the game for Ubaldo. We're back. We left for a little bit. Said that with a smile. Of course, when you have Dallas Keuchel on the mound, 7 2/3 innings in a win last night against the Angels. He is 18-8 on the year, perfect 14-0 at home Astros have won 3 in a row, and they're back to within 1 game in the AL West. And how about this one, Mike? John Gibbons of the Blue Jays talking about David Price. Trades don't always work out right. This one's worked out right. I hope they pay him as much money as he wants. I didn't know Gibbons was his agent.
Right? Well, Dave Price, impressive 8-1 record with the 195 earned run average in 10 starts. But, hey, the wheels could fall off, you know. Might be a little overconfident there in Gibbons. You know, there's a lot of excitement up there in Toronto, but, you know, they're not walking away with the East right now.
And the postseason is certainly something different to contain with. As the Orioles found out last year, the pitching with the built-in days off, it can dominate. And the Orioles were a hot-hitting team going into the postseason, then ran into that Kansas City staff. Yeah. Joseph to center field, Michael Taylor towards right center. And he's got it and one away. It's 5 in a row retired by Gio Gonzalez. It was the Nationals were the pick by many to win the World Series after they signed Scherzer to what was already a solid rotation. But it has just not worked out for them.
Well, they went through a horrendous stretch of injuries, and it seemed like, you know, they played some really good baseball actually in the midst of all those devastating injuries. But when all the regulars came back from the disabled list, it just took them a while to gel again, and they kind of lost that rhythm as a team, and they fell out at first and now have been playing catch up ever since.
And the Mets have been so consistent on the year. They not only eventually caught up, they went right by them. And the biggest series was that 3-game sweep by the Mets here. The Nationals figured, hey, now we're going to get them. And not only did they not get them, they didn't win a game. But they are scoring over 6 runs a game in September.
Desmond, another strong offensive year with 18 home runs.
Ball 3 outside. Well, there were reports in spring training that Desmond turned down a $100 million extension. Now that is a gamble. That's a lot of money guaranteed if that was accurate. Here's the 3-2 to JJ. Right center field. That ball is going to get down for a base hit. Harper cuts it off nicely. He'll hold Hardy to a single. Outstanding play out there by Bryce Harper. So the Orioles get their 3rd hit and a 1-out single.
Yeah, I think a lot of people forget about Harper's defense, but take a look at this great piece of hitting by J.J. Hardy. Fastball on the outer third. He stays on it. This ball is powdered to the gap. Great swing from Hardy. But it is fielded nicely by Bryce Harper, cutting it off, not letting it get to the wall, and everybody respects Harper's arm out there. So good speed to get to the ball, and the strong arm keeps Hardy at first.
Here's Junior Lake, who's playing in center field tonight. He swings through it 0-1. Lake got in last Wednesday's game after the Red Sox broke it open. He was 0 for 1 in his 1 at bat. Huge foul the other way, and it's quickly 0-2. Junior is one of the 25 players who played this year for both Ron Johnson at AAA Norfolk and for Buck Showalter in Baltimore. 25 different players this year.
Yeah. So, well, at least the organization's getting a good feel for Lake. Yeah. Could be a piece next year. An opportunity here to show what he's got.
Well, there's a break for the O's as that one got by Lobaton, so Hardy to second. It takes away the chance for a double play.
A big break, and there you go. You see Gonzalez at times. I mean, it's just yoinks and away. The backstop, and Hardy walking into second base. And next thing you know, he comes up with just an unbelievable quality pitch. Ron Johnson, there's
there he is, peeking.
The winningest manager in Norfolk Tide's history.
Mike Griffin, his pitching coach, is also here. Too tight. For the coaching staff at AAA Norfolk, for Ron, he has Mike Griffin, who had a nice major league career himself. Sean Berry is the hitting coach. He had a nice major league career. And Jose Hernandez is the fielding coach. He had a nice major league career.
Sure.
So you got 3 coaches who know what it takes to get here.
Yeah, and I think they all have a great temperament. I got to work with some of those guys in spring training, and they worked well with everybody on the big league team. And of course, many of the guys you see called up now were in spring training. And so I got to establish some relationships there. A nice group of coaches in the minor leagues right now. And you look at Ron Johnson.
And Ron told me before the game what he enjoys the most is when he tells a player he's going to the big leagues for the first time. 3-2 to Lake, swing and a miss. He got it. Oh, outstanding breaking ball there. Strikeout number 3 for Gio and 2 down.
Well, that's a nice curveball, tight breaker, really good rotation and depth to this pitch. Typically, when he gets ahead, he'll bury it, but he attacks right in the zone, and Lake out in front. Over aggressive there with the 2 strikes.
Well, Gonzalez not out of the wood yet. Here's Babe Jimenez. Late on that swing, 0-1. Ubaldo with an RBI single, his first at bat. That got the first run in. 2 runs on 3 hits for the O's. No runs on 1 hit for Washington. The bunt single by Taylor is their only hit. Look at the confidence as he takes that pitch.
He's about to buy himself an off-speed pitch. He's taking hacks like that on fastballs.
And a check swing. He doesn't like the call. There you go. He's a hitter now. Questioning calls.
Take a look at Ubaldo way out on that front side. Check swing. He doesn't like where it is.
So Gonzalez ahead of him, 1-2 with Hardy at second. Breaking ball bends low. Now I'm not going to say that, boy, that was a good take. I think he had no idea that pitch was coming. Which is why he took it. The way his feet reacted to that, he was not looking breaking ball. Strike 3 called. And Ubaldo just walks away. So a 1-out single and a man left. Mid-4th in Washington, 2-0 O's. Of Sarasota on Florida's Gulf Coast go beyond the stadium to Siesta Beach, named winner of the 2015 TripAdvisor Traveler's Choice Awards for beaches. Plan now at Visit Sarasota.org. St. Armand Circle. I think I have been at each of those restaurants in the circle there. Great place to spend your evening after a day game in spring training. Ubaldo Jimenez, 3 innings, no runs on 1 hit. He has walked 4 and they have not hurt yet. But what it's done is it's elevated that pitch count.
And so now is the time to get right back into the zone. The Nationals have seen him a little bit, so they may be a little bit more aggressive here in the middle of this ball game. But Ubaldo's got to prove that he can be consistent in the strike zone, or they'll probably keep taking.
And it's outside for ball 2. Robinson, Desmond, and Taylor. Oh, look where Buck went. He wants a different view. As far as he's ever been away. Ball 3 over but low. Okay, that's enough. I need my comfort zone seat back by John Russell. There's a strike. Clint Robinson takes all the way. Robinson's an interesting story. He's 30 years old, and this is his first full year in the big leagues. Fouls it off the other way, so the count goes full. He was a 25th round draft pick of Kansas City in 2007 out of Troy University. He's been since then traded to Pittsburgh, waivers to Toronto, free agent to the Dodgers, and a free agent to the Nationals for this year. Center field, Lake on the run, and he gets there and drops the ball. Junior Lake dropped the ball, and on to second base goes Robinson. You can't make those kind of mistakes, especially to the first batter of an inning.
Or when you're trying to get yourself a job on a major league team here. Pretty good jump. Over boogies with the angle, gets a little deep, but then has to come back in. See him making the call. Catches him right in the palm and then kicks right out of the glove. Fortunate miscue there for Lake and the Orioles. Adam Jones looking on.
So not only does Robinson reach on the error, he's in scoring position with nobody down. And he and Desmond now will bat. Bounce towards third slowly. Robinson's going to go to third. Manny double pumps and safe at first as the throw sailed.
Manny not quite getting the handle on that one. Don't see that too often, and you wonder if he was maybe thinking about Robinson at second base right when he gloved it. Robinson started to take off. Double clutch, and then the high throw. Davis trying as hard as he can to keep his toe on the base. Not able to do so.
It is an infield hit. The double pump costing Machado, so Desmond is on. And that error now to begin the inning looming larger. The Nats have the tying runs on and nobody down. And here is Michael Taylor, who's tough to double up with his speed. Popped up. Shallow right. Scope was shaded towards the middle, and getting there is Scope. He caught it and fires back in. What a play by Scope! As he cuts in front of Pierce, he stayed with it and he made the grab. He just saved a run.
Wow, that was an incredible defensive play, and that's the knowing what's going on in a ball game, the instincts, understanding what's happening behind you. Well aware that the runner was going to be tagging at third base, and he just fires it back in. Near collision there, so keeping the great concentration. And once he realizes he isn't going to get knocked down by Pierce, fires it back in. Perfect throw to Caleb Joseph, and then Caleb almost catches Robinson on the back end at third base.
So alert baseball there by Scope. First making the catch, then getting the ball in, and then Joseph on the back end trying to get Robinson at third base. So one down now, and here's Lobaton switch hitting catcher. Strike on the corner, and Lobaton does not like the call. And we've seen quite a bit of that tonight.
He's thinking there's no way that two-seamer worked itself back over the inside corner, but Waldo does get great movement on that pitch.
Bouncer, Scope, bobbles the ball, and everybody's safe, and a run scores. 2 errors in the inning, very uncharacteristic by the Orioles. It looked like he went to flip to Hardy before he had it, and that cost him.
Yeah, I think a little in between. He didn't know whether or not to flip, or actually he did want to flip and took his eye off the ball. And then it was a scrum on the end. Desmond keeping the foot on the base. Yeah, just took his eye off the ball a little bit. We talked about Jonathan Scope being so good this year about taking care of the baseball, but they're a little bit too quick. Another costly error.
Here's where Hardy tried to get Desmond, and he just missed him. So that'll be a fielder's choice on Lobaton, so he'll get an RBI. And here's Gonzalez, and he bunts out in front of the plate. Joseph goes to third, out there, back to first, and safe is the call at first. Very close play at first. The O's do get the lead runner.
We talked about Caleb Joseph and some of the versatility that these players have. This is an infielder style play right there. Manny Machado type play on the barehander. Gets it on a Machado, and then the cannon let free across the field. Almost a beautiful double play there by Joseph, Machado, and Scope.
And I believe Buck Showalter wants this looked at to see if Scope in fact did have his foot on the bag.
His foot looks like it's there. I think he may have gotten him.
It was a bang bang play. Mark Ripperger, the first base umpire.
Wow.
That is close. Of course, they have to see evidence that Ripperger missed the call to overturn it. But the Orioles are pretty cautious in their asks for these appeals to check the replay, so they must feel that they have a good shot to get this call, and it looks like they might.
I think they got him.
And if so, that would be an inning-ending double play.
Well, that is it's an impressive play by both Joseph and Machado.
And he's out, and that will end the inning. So a timely appeal there by Buck Showalter, and the double play ends the inning. That's going to run. We head to the fifth, 2-1 O's. University College. Well, on this date, September 22nd, back in 1961, Diamond Jim Gentile. It is 5th Grand Slam of the year, and it tied a record that was set in 1955 by Cubs shortstop Ernie Banks. Each of Gentile's homers with Chuck Estrada pitching for Baltimore. So how about that? So all the grand slams. That's a nice little note. 1966, the Orioles clinched their first pennant representing Baltimore behind a complete game by our colleague Jim Palmer. He went the distance, beat Lou Krause at the A's Municipal Stadium by a final of 6-1. Nolan Reimold will lead off. Reimold, Machado, and Davis. And that's outside. And take it for a strike. Reimold has one of the RBI hits for the O's. They came back to back in the third. First it was Ubaldo. Yes, Ubaldo Jimenez, if you joined us late, as an RBI hit. He loves interleague baseball. And then Reimold followed.
Yeah, both of the runs the Orioles scored in the second inning were walks to Joseph and Hardy. Of course, those clutch base hits picking up those walks.
Gonzalez has had one 3-up, 3-down inning. Orioles uncharacteristic with 2 errors in the same inning, and Junior Lake dropping the ball set it up. That was the leadoff man. All in all, the Orioles did a pretty good job there getting out of that inning, still having the lead. With the challenge and the call at first overturned for the final out.
Saw some great defense and some not so great defense that last inning.
Strike 3 called right there. Strikeout number 5 for Gonzalez. Reimold's gone down twice.
Much more comfortable throwing that fastball to the arm side, but here getting the fastball in. Quality strike. A surprising Reimold. He knows he can't get the bat head there. Pulls back, but catching the inside corner.
Here's Manny Machado. And down and away. Manny 0 for 2. Comebacker. And a fly ball to right. Gonzalez is coming off a 12 strikeout performance in his last start in a win at Philadelphia. And through the hole, there's a base hit for Manny. Well, you love to see him do that, because then he might get a pitch later in the game to pull. For every Orioles walk, Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield contributes $50 to support the March of Dimes. The O's have drawn 376 walks for a total of $18,800. Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield encourages each of us to take that first step towards a healthier and a more active lifestyle. Ubaldo Jimenez on the bench. Manny Machado with that base hit. That's his 500th career hit. Wow. Extends his hitting streak to 3 in a row. Here's Chris Davis with a man on. Ground ball and a base hit down the left field line. He hit it against the shift. Machado will head to third. Davis to second. Digging it out. Manny's being sent. Here's the relay throw home from Desmond. He is safe at the plate. The hand got underneath the tag. A daring send by Bobby Dickerson, and Machado did the rest.
Well, pretty impressive stuff all the way around here by the Orioles. Great piece of hitting by Chris Davis. He wanted to go that way, pulling the hands inside, but a tough read as the ball gets hung up in the corner. Dickerson sending Machado, but look at the athleticism with the slide. Oh my, what a play by Machado. Nice effort by Lobaton, but Machado able to get the hand on the point of home plate safely. Nice job there by Dickerson at third base. Machado showing the great speed, and Chris Davis with the clutch double.
Now, Matt Williams on the Nationals bench held his palm up to home plate umpire Brian Onora. They were looking at the video, but they are not going to appeal, so there's an RBI double for Davis.
Man, what a great effort here by Manny Machado. Lobaton showing him that side of the plate.
Oh, yeah.
The arms reaching in there and just catching the black part of home plate.
Well, to be able to move your body like that around the leg of Lobaton and then get the hand back in when your body's going the other way, that's pretty athletic.
Yeah, he's been doing some pretty impressive things with his body, showing what kind of an athlete Manny Machado is.
So that's RBI number 110 for Chris Davis. Back-to-back hits, gets that run back. Chris now has a 3-game hitting streak. Here's fouls it back. He's down on the count 0-2. Pierce is flat out to center and grounded out to first. So Parra saying, yes, young man, you can run. Somebody's kidding him there. It might be Gerardo. Last night when we got back to the hotel, I was at the elevator with Gerardo, and I said, yeah, I'm going to go back to the room and get some prep work done and watch the football game. And he said, oh, is there a college game on tonight? No, Monday Night Football, the NFL. Because Gerardo's from Venezuela. And in Venezuela, soccer is king along with baseball, not football. He is a real nice guy.
Yeah, nice pickup, I think, for the Orioles. Unfortunately, the bat kind of quieting down a little bit in the second half for him, but a quality guy, a good player.
I think he falls into what you said earlier about trying too hard. When you're the guy they trade for to try to help you get over the top, get into the postseason, you're trying to prove to them you were worth what you gave up. Here's the 1-2 to Pierce. I would hope, of course, it's far from my decision, but I think he would fit very nicely in the team next year. He'd have the entire spring training because it gives Buck Showalter versatility. He's equally effective in left field or right field. He's won a Gold Glove in each spot.
Sure. I agree. And Orioles certainly have some spots that need to be filled, some pending potential free agents that are question marks. Whether or not they're coming back. Steve Pierce at the plate right now, one of them.
Down the left field line. That's going to be a base hit. That's going to go all the way to the wall. Davis will score easily, and Pierce is heading to second base with an RBI double. 3 consecutive hits, and the Orioles lead is now 4-1.
Some nice hitting by all 3 hitters. Manny Machado going the other way, Chris Davis going the other way, and Pierce staying on top of this pitch for his 10th double of the season, as well as we've seen. Easy pitch to pop up, but take a look at the bat angle. He gets up there, and wow, does he keep it flat through the zone, and it's whistled down the left field line.
Well, Lobaton out for a chat. This is likely to stall for the bullpen to get busy.
So I know we were talking about Gio Gonzalez and the success he had here in the month of September with the 2 wins, no losses, and that very low earned run average of 147. But he was holding opponents down to just a 172 batting average this month as well. So he had a good feel for all of his pitches as Doug Fister now getting loose in the Nats bullpen. Steve McCatty, Nationals pitching coach, out to get Fister going a little bit.
Well, Fister lost his spot in the rotation. So he is relegated to the bullpen. Now he's a free agent after the year, and he's going to be an interesting guy on the free agent market because the Orioles remember him with the Tigers, and he was fabulous. He was a sinker ball pitcher, pounded the strike zone, attacked hitters. He might be a guy that you could take a chance on, and if he regains his form, you're onto something.
Yeah. Well, he's definitely he's a proven arm. Have work out as well as they'd hoped here with the Nationals this season, but oh yeah, I'm sure the Orioles and many other teams have their eye on Fister.
Here's Jonathan Scope, 3 consecutive hits, 2 runs in, and a foul off the breaking ball. The Nationals, with their call-ups, have a 13-man bullpen for tonight. And they even list Drew Storen in the bullpen, except he's hurt and can't play. But he is still on the lineup card that the Nationals sent over to the Orioles. Swing and a miss, 0-2 on Scope. Jonathan is hitless. He is grounded out. He is struck out. He is now 4 for 18 on the road trip. The Orioles are still 4th with runners in scoring position as a club at 276. This has got to be frustrating for the Nationals, falling behind here 4-1, because you know they're scoreboard watching, and the Braves are leading the Mets at Citi Field 4-1 in the 5th.
I was talking with former Oriole, now Nats first base coach Tony Tarasco earlier, and he said that this team's been playing relaxed and loosey-goosey, kind of being themselves here the last couple weeks. Shows by their record and the production they've had here in the month of September. Look at this breaking ball from Gonzalez, burying it down and in, and then Scope catching Lobaton on the back of the helmet.
And here comes Matt Williams. Looks like this will be all for Gio Gonzalez, who will go 4 2/3 and leave on the short end of a 4-1 game. So Gonzalez leave. Pfister comes on with the O's batting in the 5th.
The fastball, but the Orioles were able to get on him. A couple mistakes in the second inning with the 2 base on balls. Both of them scored, and then here in the 5th, Orioles put it on him. And now it's time for a little relief or your car too. Visit Jiffy Lube for regular oil changes and help prevent damage and wear to your engine. Jiffy Lube, drive in today. Well, Doug Pfister coming out of the Nats bullpen likes his fastball. Good 2-seamer, nice sinker. With the fastball, has a cut fastball. It almost looks like a slider, and then the curve. And of course the change to go along with it. Upsetting year this year. Had some injuries beginning of the season, and typically the ground ball type pitcher, you see his fly ball percentage up to 56. I spent the first month on the DL with a lat strain, and then missed more time with some forearm tightness, so lost a little bit of velocity on his fastball. Ended up getting moved to the bullpen in August.
It's ahead of Caleb 0-1. Line drive down the line. That is a foul ball. Well, he was all over that. Pierce will have to go back to second. Well, Pfister this year has made 15 starts. You look back to his season a year ago, his first year with the Nats, like 16-6, 2.41 ERA.
Oh yeah, well, he knows how to pitch. I think it was just the injuries at the beginning of the year that kind of set him back, and he was just never able to. When you lose a little bit of velocity, a lot of things change as a pitcher. You have to work a little bit differently, and you see his velocity's been down a little bit with the fastball working in the high 80s.
1-2 on Caleb, batting with Pierce at second and 2 down. Just outside. Caleb has walked and scored and flied out. Gonzalez walked 2 batters in his start, and both came around the score. And he got him. A real good pitch down and away off speed. So 3 strikeouts in the inning, but the O's had a couple. We'll head to the bottom of the 5th. 4-1 O's.
Himself, Orioles starting pitcher picking up a base hit with an RBI, and the Orioles bench going crazy. Tip your hat, Ubaldo, and Ubaldo helping himself. Tough jam here, a little bunt attempt, but the Orioles defense, Caleb Joseph, Manny Machado, and Scope on the end clean it up. How about Davis going the other way? Tough send here by Bobby Dickerson, but Machado with a great athletic slide at home. Safe is the call, and the Orioles have the 4-1 lead. Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com for a free rate quote.
Here's Rendon to lead off for the Nationals. And Ubaldo goes right at him for a strike. It's 0-1. Escobar, then Harper. Rendon has grounded out and he has walked. Ubaldo has walked 4 on the season now. It's his 4th start of at least 4 walks. He now has 2 of 4, and he's had a couple of starts with 6 walks.
Well, so important now to that big inning. Ubaldo really needs to shut the Nats down here. Take the winds out of their sails.
Bounce to Machado. Ooh, tough in between hop. There's that arm, 1 away. So the leadoff man retired here in the 5th. Say, are you not receiving your MASN mobile alerts? Well, just text the word Orioles to 29292 for in-game alerts and chances to win exclusive prizes, including meet and greets with your favorite players and autographed memorabilia as well. Again, that's Orioles to 29292. It's only the 2nd time that Ubaldo's retired the leadoff man. Of course, last inning he should have. When Robinson hit the line drive to center field, the junior league simply dropped. So instead of 1 out, nobody on, Robinson reached on the error by Lake. Playing in center field in place of Adam Jones.
Nice little slider right there from Ubaldo after spiking that fastball down in the dirt. The slider shows itself all over the plate. That nice late movement there to get back into the count.
Weak ground ball towards second. Scope waits on it and guns to first. So 2 quick outs on a couple of ground balls. Ubaldo 1 out away from the 3-up, 3-down inning. Here's the O's upcoming schedule, brought to you by Mile One Automotive, offering you 20 convenient locations throughout the Baltimore area. Visit us in-store or online at mile1.com. Well, tomorrow night, middle game of 3, and then the makeup game from last night's rainout Thursday afternoon at 4 o'clock. Those games on MASN 2. Then it's up to Boston. Night game on Friday, late afternoon game Saturday, day game on Sunday, and then it's home for the final week of the regular season. Strike taken by Harper. It's nice when fans of other teams get along. Harper with a vicious cut, but he missed it.
Baldo getting a good movement on the two-seam fastball. First one to get ahead was his typical two-seamer to the lefties, starting it at the hitter and working back over the inside corner. That one more on the plate, but enough movement on the dish to keep it off the bat head of Harper.
Seems to be throwing a lot of fastballs tonight. Of course, we're so high, some of them may be splitters, and just can't see it. But it seems like he really has a lot of confidence in the pitch, even though he's been a tad erratic with it. But maybe that's good if it's erratic. That must have been the splitter because Caleb went down to catch it.
Yeah, we talked about Gonzalez, Gio Gonzalez being effectively wild at times, some non-competitive pitches. Well, Ubaldo kind of worked the same way.
There he goes, 75% fastballs. Line drive down the line, foul. So 3 out of every 4 pitches on the night have been a fastball. Bryce Harper just 22. And he already has 106 career home runs. A little bit low on a real good batting line. And Harper works the count full after Ubaldo got ahead of him 0-2, and Harper about to see a 7th pitch in this at bat. Harper made his big league debut in 2012 when he was 19 years old. Huge foul that almost hurt the Orioles. If that stayed fair with the Birds in the shift. Manny's over at shortstop.
Bryce Harper, former teammate of Manny Machado. The year before he was with the Nationals in the big leagues, he was playing on the USA team, 18 and under with Manny.
Ooh, close pitch, he got the call. So another walk to Harper. That's 5 in the game by Ubaldo, and this one was close.
Yeah, we've seen a couple of these low fastballs called for strikes. Take a look at the Nissan pitch track. Right at the bottom of the zone. Could have gone either way. We've seen it called a strike and now a ball in this ball game.
Harper 117 walks. He has a new national single season record. Here's Worth, and that one bounces in. So Ubaldo an out away from his first 3 up 3 down inning, gets ahead of Harper 0-2, and he walks him. Jason Worth is 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts. Strike on the corner. Worth still can't figure out Brian O'Nora's strike zone.
Yeah, well, Jason Worth, he was hit a couple low fastballs were called on him. That one on the outside corner, and Worth looking out there like no way that ball could catch the corner.
Towards the middle, there's Hardy, and he'll flip the scope. They get the force on the sliding Harper, and that ends the inning. So a 2-out walk and none left. Our Mazda do-ups, J.J. Hardy, Junior Lake, and Ubaldo Jimenez for the O's. Brought to you by the Maryland Fire Chiefs and Maryland State Firemen's Associations. Email mdfirevolunteer@gmail.com to volunteer with your local fire, rescue, and EMS. And by Coons.com. When you're talking cars, you're talking Coons. Washington Monument in our nation's capital on this lovely day. The city was abuzz today with Pope Francis arriving. J.J. Hardy leads off against Pfister, and he'll take a strike. JJ's been on base twice. He has walked and scored, and he has singled. A little bit off the plate. But Pfister, 31 years old. He'll turn 32 in December.
A big guy, 6'8". Very athletic.
And that one looked like it was off the plate. Hardy didn't like it, but again, Brian Honora's been calling that pitch all night.
His two-seam fastball. Did he get that same kind of movement Ubaldo does? Doesn't look like it on the pitch track. Stayed on the outside corner. Lobaton bringing it back, and that one goes in Pfister's favor.
Yeah, that was a bad call, but he reacted to the glove, and here's Parr to pinch it for late. Well, there's a right-hander in the game, and that gets a better defender in the game. So Lake goes 0 for 2. He also committed an error. Now Parra takes over. And he'll take a strike. Wow. Gerardo's a pinch hitter. That's pretty good.
That's right.
Gerardo is 2 for 10 on the trip, and he has gone just 12 for 61 in September. That is a 197 clip, and he also doesn't have a home run in the month. He hasn't had a multi-hit game since August 23rd. As Chris Davis has had his share of multi-hit games.
Yeah, there are times, obviously, hitters get into a nice groove where they get locked in. The ball looks like a beach ball coming in there. And at times you get a little jumpy and want to do too much. And when you try to bring yourself back to that good feel, it's hard to find it. It really is. You end up doing too much with your lower half. Your head moves a little bit too much. And sometimes it takes a while to settle back into that comfort zone, like where Chris Davis is right now, seeing the ball so well, using the whole field.
Here's Ubaldo, 1 out of 2 with an RBI single. Pfister goes right at him and gets ahead. Pfister has faced 3 batters. He's retired all 3. Well, Brian Honora's in a groove. He's calling a lot of strikes.
Everybody swinging, right?
And there's strike 3. Ubaldo didn't like any of the calls. A 3-up, 3-down inning. Mid-6th, the O's enjoying a 4-1 lead. league-wide AL versus NL.
Yeah, well, American League, I think pretty self-explanatory. The numbers are going to be a touch higher because in American League they use the designated hitter, so the batting average up, runs up just a little bit more, home runs per game, slugging percentage, and the earned run average. In the National League, the pitchers have to hit, so the numbers down just a touch there. And basically, that's about it. Quicker games in the National League with the pitcher hitting. And we see if a pitcher can help himself, though, the impact it can have. Baldo getting a big hit in this ball game.
Clint Robinson leads off. Desmond and Taylor will follow. Parra stays in the game in center field. He pinch hit for Lake. So a better defender out there. And a strike on the corner.
Lake doesn't look too happy about not being in the game.
Well, with a lead here in the sixth, you know Buck's going to want the better defender out there anyway. And he got the lefty-righty matchup with Pfister in the game, so Buck had a choice between Darrell Alvarez and Lake, and he chose Lake because of his experience. Of course, he also could have started Parra and had Reimold play center field. But Parra is a plus defender anywhere he plays. And that's another aspect of his value to the team.
Yeah.
The other thing that Buck said today in his pregame briefing with the media, that next year he's going to try to come up with some kind of a plan to get Adam Jones and J.J. Hardy more regular days off. There's a comebacker. And Ubaldo has it, and he gets the first, so one away here in the National sixth inning. Well, register now for the Longevity Foundation's Breathe Deep Baltimore. It's a 5K walk to raise funds and awareness for lung cancer in memory of the Orioles' late public relations director, Monica Pence Barlow. It'll be held on Saturday, October 3rd at Oriole Park, and proceeds will benefit the nonprofit's efforts to provide research grants as well as community support for those suffering with lung cancer. To register or for more information, Orioles.com/longevity. Desmond takes a strike. Now, Buck didn't say if he had talked to Adam and Hardy about that. He said over the winter he's going to try to come up with some kind of a formula that obviously will be altered if necessary. Now, one easy thing would be to say, well, how about day game after a night game? But the problem with that is Adam hits better in day games than he hits in night games.
And it'll be tough to take either one of those guys out of the lineup if they're playing well, you know, and hitting.
This one's popped up, shallow right center. Pierce is calling off Parra, and he's got it for the out and two away. Well, Adam is a gamer, and you like that, obviously, but now that he's 30, and Buck makes sure to point out, look, I'm not saying he's old, but he's older than he has been, and he's 30, and your body changes, and, you know, a day here and there might make Adam even a better player because he'll be better rested, and some of those, you know, body parts that ache, an extra day to heal. But you probably wouldn't see both of them out of the same game, which is where the plan has to come into play, because you don't want to sacrifice that much defense for a game.
Yeah, you want to keep it strong up the middle. Hardy and Jones have been a couple of the best in the game past few seasons.
One-on-one on Taylor. There's a strike. Fastball right at him.
Two-seam fastball there. Jansen warming up in the Nationals bullpen. Baldo up over 100 pitches and looks sharper than he has at any point in this game.
Still looking for that elusive 3-up, 3-down inning. He has 2 outs and nobody on, just as he had last inning. But then he walked Bryce Harper. Breaking ball misses. The Orioles bullpen has been silent all night. Line drive center field. That'll fall for a base hit. So Michael Taylor's on with a base hit. He is 2 out of 3 in a 2-out single. So again, a 3-up, 3-down inning eludes Ubaldo.
Pretty sound approach there from Taylor. Player having a very solid year here for the Nationals. An opportunity to play with Denard Span roughed up, another one of the Nationals too much time on the disabled list, so Taylor getting an opportunity. His 3-2 approach with a single up the middle.
And Brad Brock begins to get loose. He just did get up, and that's down and in. Ball 2, that one in the dirt. Ubaldo takes a little walk. He's got Taylor at first, and he's behind 2-0 on Lobaton. You wouldn't think Taylor would run here down 4-1. Hard hit ball past Davis, but there's Stoke. Davis gets up, and Jonathan gets it to him. He may have deflected it to slow it down, and a big play there. Our Honda do-ups as we head to the 7th. Top of the order, Reimold, Machado, and Davis. Well, Ubaldo getting some love from the skipper. Looks as if his night is done. Whatever Buck said, Ubaldo laughed, so that's good.
Price said, can't believe you made it through 6 strong innings. I mean, it was a rough start there for Ubaldo, but settled in nicely and obviously helped his own cause with that base hit and the RBI.
Fister stays on. He would have been lifted for a pinch hitter if the inning continues, but since the inning ended, Matt Williams gets another inning out of him. Weak ground ball to third. And a nice play by Yunel Escobar. And it's Reimold for the first out and 1 away. Well, we ask your help in helping Maryland Governor Larry Hogan and the Orioles in their fight against pediatric cancer, while also saving 50% on tickets to each game in next week's series against the Blue Jays. Visit Orioles.com/charity and help raise funds for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society and the Ronald McDonald House Charities. Make a difference in the fight against childhood cancer and save big on a great night out at Oriole Park. That is a real nice program the Orioles have set up. Strike one to Manny. So Doug Fister has faced 5 batters. He's retired all 5. He took over with 2 outs in the 5th. Matt Thornton, one of the 4 left-handers in the bullpen. Strike on the corner.
A lot of arms down there. They could go match up the rest of the way if they wanted to.
13 pitchers available out there. 1 is in the game. Just outside. And a little bit low. Good eye by Manny. And Manny fights it off to stay alive. And Casey Jansen, who was up last inning, gets up, so it's Jansen and Thornton. And Manny battling here. He's about to see a 7th pitch.
You see where Fister's attacking down and away to Machado.
Off-speed pitch gets him. That is the 4th strikeout for Fister and 2 away.
So a steady diet of two-seam fastballs, and how about slowing it down 70 miles an hour and gets Machado way out in front on the slow hook.
And here comes Matt Williams. So an outstanding job by Fister. He kept it as is. Pitching change in Washington. 2 outs in the 7th. 4-1 O's.
Velocity a little bit down than we've seen in the past. This veteran lefty used to throw 98 miles an hour. Now works in the mid-90s, so still a pretty good fastball and slider to go along with it. 2.35 earned run average. Been in 55 games this year, but only 38 in the 3rd innings. He is a late matchup guy for the Nationals. You see his opponent batting average at just 212. Lefties 205, but he's going up against the Crusher, who's handled lefties pretty well all year long to a 284 clip, and does have 10 home runs off the lefties this year.
Well, 2 outs and nobody on for Thornton, who misses down and in. First an RBI double his last at bat, 1 out of 3 overall. Ripped down the right field line, a long run for Harper. That's beyond him, and it is a foul ball. It just faded foul at the last moment. It's a long strike. Chris is 2 for 9 in his head-to-heads against this left-hander Thornton. He's been with the White Sox, he's been with the Yankees, and now he's here with the Nationals. Swing and a miss.
Take a look at our Jeep inside the numbers. Most home runs this month. Well, New York Yankees leading the way with 32, but they're the Orioles 31 and the Nationals with the 29 home runs. And these two teams have been putting some runs up on the board.
Ground ball to Rendon. He retires Davis, so Thornton gets his man, and the bullpen has been perfect for the Nationals. 2 1/3 since coming on. 7th inning stretch in Washington. 4-1 O's.
Some pretty impressive stuff here. Good two-seamer to get Worth, and how about fielding his own position? His job on the comebacker there. Get out of the inning, but with the bat as well. Oh yeah, that's an RBI singer for Baldo. Driving in the first Oriole run. All right, fastball there. Another big punch out on Escobar. Look at the split finger action to get Jason Worth down for the second time in the ball game. Pretty solid line there after a slow start, but 5 walks. That led to the 110 pitches, but 6 strong innings there for Ubaldo Jimenez. And that gives way to Brad Brock coming out of the pen. The fastball 62% of the time, a cross-body delivery, a slider, and then the turbo changeup for Brock. See, 56 games, has 5 wins with a 2.45 earned run average, 82 punch-outs leading the Orioles. That's 5th in the American League for relievers. And you see him holding opponents down to just a 198 batting average. Lefty's just 178, and giving up the 7 long balls.
And here is Matt Den Decker, who will pinch hit for Thornton. So another reliever will be on to pitch in the 8th. Brock last pitched on Sunday, a scoreless inning against the Rays. Fastball misses outside. Den Decker, this is his 16th pinch hitting appearance. He is 4 for 15 with a couple of RBIs. Pops this one up. Machado and Hardy. Manny calls off JJ. And he's got it. And one away here in the Washington 7th inning. As promised earlier in the game, we've selected the Data Strong fan photo of the game. Treat your strongest fan photo to the hashtag #OsCouchCam, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast. Brought to you by T-Mobile. The That's a good look for you, 40.
Yeah, that is not a 10-gallon hat. That's a 50-gallon hat right there. I like it.
And they have followed us to our nation's capital. Hawaiian shirts. Anthony Rendon 0 for 2 plus a walk. He's in that leadoff spot. Ground ball right at Manny. Inspects the baseball and then slings it across. So 2 quick outs recorded by Brock. As part of their long-standing partnership with the Baltimore Symphony Orchestra and recent role as presenting sponsor of the orchestra's opening night gala, the Orioles are proud to support the BSO's new partnership with WTMD Radio in the creation of Pulse, a new series at the Meyerhoff bringing together classical music and indie rock. Now, each Pulse concert opens with a classical work performed by BSO members, followed by a set with an indie artist, ending with a unique collaboration featuring both groups. The series will begin this Thursday evening with the band Dawes. For all the details, visit bsopulse.org.
Escobar, Brian O'Nora know that the whole game been an inconsistent strike zone. Going at it there.
So he swings at a pitch that sails outside and expresses his displeasure because now he's down on the count 0-2.
Well, let that first strike, it appears to be all over the box for strike 1, affect the second pitch. A nasty changeup down and away, but well off the plate. He had already made up his mind that he was going to swing.
And just outside. Now he can take another breath. That corner has been a pitcher's spot tonight. And just off the corner. And he got him. So Brad Brock comes up and Escobar slings his equipment. 3 up, 3 down inning. We head to the 8th with the O's in front. Presented by authority of the Orioles and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Orioles. 4-1 game, 27,338 the attendance here tonight. And the Nats go to their bullpen again. Here's Casey Jansen.
Matt Jansen, veteran right-hander. All well known for his command, his fastball command. Actually command of all of his pitches. He was a one-time closer for the Toronto Blue Jays. A couple wins here for the Nationals with the .495 earned run average for him this year. Only 36 1/3 innings. Another one of the Nationals that spent a lot of time on the disabled list. Fly ball pitcher, 64% of his outs in the air.
And there's a strike to Pierce, scoping Joseph. Sharply hit foul wide of third. And like, this is one of those games where, as we've observed, and you look at your scorecard, there have been contributions up and down the lineup for the Orioles, including Ubaldo getting an RBI single in the number 9 spot.
Yeah, some really good at bats, I think, in this ball game. Of course, the Orioles made the mark, the 2 marks back in the 2nd inning. And a couple walks, so showed the patience. And of course, Manny Machado right there. There were 3 consecutive hits there in that 5th inning. And Manny with that tremendous head-first slide in the home plate. Take a look at this pitch here to Steve Pearce. That fastball down and away. Why not work out there? It's been called all night.
Yeah, I mean, you're this deep in the game. I understand the hitter's frustration because they pride themselves on not swinging at balls, but that's been a strike all night. You're better off just trying to foul it off. Big swing and a miss by Scope, who was 0 for 3. And that misses inside, 1-1. So the Orioles saw a lot of Casey Janssen when he was with the Blue Jays. He is not the pitcher he once was. Down and away. 2-1 on Scope.
No, he's lost a little bit, but still known for that control and command of all of his pitches, and he's got that same kind of herky-jerky delivery that adds a little deception.
Jonathan fouls off the breaking ball. Four runs on 6 hits for the Orioles. They've committed 2 errors. 1 run on 3 hits for the Nationals. They've committed 1 error. Popped up. Jansen takes charge. And the pitcher has it. So off the fist, and Jansen has his man. And here's a look at our PNC minor league report for the night. And Mike, the batting average leaders in the Orioles system, and Mancini's name keeps popping up.
Yeah, it sure did. He was a finalist for the minor league player of the year and only hit to a tune of .341, and that was combined with Frederick and Bowie. But Chance Sisco, he got challenged again as well. He split time in Frederick and Bowie. .297 on the year. Mountcastle, first round pick this year, .296. Very nice out of high school. Urrutia, nice job in AAA. And of course, Steve Wilkerson in Delmarva, a .287 8th round pick last season.
There's Ron Johnson, the AAA skipper. When Bowie clinched the other night on Saturday, this ball's lifted to right field. Don't start a story with 2 men out. So we'll continue that on the back end as Harper gets it. O's go 3 up, 3 down. The Orioles don't have a hit off the bullpen, but they have a 4-1 lead. Oakland will take them out against Max Scherzer. Our coverage on MASN 2 begins at 6:30. Those extra presented by Jeep. And then game coverage at 7 o'clock. We've got all the access you need right here on MASN.
Take a look at tomorrow's starters. Chris Tillman still in search of that 10th win. He's been stuck on 9, it seems like forever. Has failed at his last 6 attempts, and he'll be facing Max Scherzer. 12 and 11 on the year. Look at that earned run average at 2.90. But he has proven to be more human here in the last few weeks or a few starts.
Was that a good strikeout to walk ratio?
Yeah.
What was that, 247 to 29?
Right.
Are you kidding me? So Brad Brock had a quick 3-up, 3-down 7th inning, so he stays on to begin the 8th, and nothing doing behind him. And the pitch taken outside by Bryce Harper. Brock threw only 8 pitches in that 7th inning. Harper a couple of walks. He's also popped up the shortstop. The pitch on the corner, not called a strike. 2-0. Ball 3. What you don't want to do when you're up by 3 is start walking guys.
You want to be careful, certainly with Harper, but don't want to put him on base with a free pass either. He's trying to make that quality pitch down and away.
Harper is 0 for 3 head-to-head against Brock. Brock has a string of 4 consecutive scoreless appearances going. And he's pitched scoreless in 6 of his last 7. 3-1. And there's a walk. So Harper, you got to like his approach. If they're going to walk him, he'll take it. He does not chase bad pitches.
Yeah, 3 walks in this game.
So he now has 118 walks on the season. And that'll get Jason Worth up. Worth is 1 out of 2 against Brad Brock, and that 1 is a home run. So a leadoff walk with the O's up 4-1. This is outside. What a difference from the 7th inning. Brad had a 3-up, 3-down, 8-pitch inning. Left field. That chases Reimold, and he's got it for the out. Oh, he played it perfectly. As he was able to get back and then backpedal just to catch it. What a play.
Yeah, that ball was covered. Jason Worth getting on the fastball. Reimold taking a nice line to that baseball. Pretty direct, gets to the spot. Couple backpedal steps, makes it look pretty routine.
Well, that's an inning changer. If that gets over his head, Harper's at least to third and maybe scores. There's Clint Robinson, who has reached on an error and score. Over but low, 1-0. Swing and a miss. Now that was 88. It certainly wasn't his fastball.
Yeah, and I don't even know that it was his changeup. I think he just took a little off and made it a BP type fastball. Nice little 2-seam action as it ran off the plate.
Yeah, 1-2. Well, the Braves are still leading the Mets. The Mets' magic number to eliminate the Nationals is 7, but that's a combination of Met wins and/or Nats losses. So if the Orioles hold on here, the Mets' magic number will drop to 6, regardless of if they come back in that game. They're batting in the bottom of the 8th with 2 on and none out at Citi Field. Check swing, and it's high. So 95 on that one. 2-2 with 1 on and 1 out. A little bit low. 3-2, and Darren O'Day now begins to get loose. See, they have the lineup taped to the wall there, so Dom Chidi can look along at who's on the bench and what the matchups might be late in the game. That's the lineup card that John Russell puts together once Buck is in the lineup, and you see on the bottom there, the middle boxes are the men on the bench, and then the lower boxes are the various bullpens. Harper doesn't go. The 3-2 is fouled off. Now the relievers, even though Buck says, well, your role is going and get an out when I put you in the game, but they know their roles, and they know there are certain players that they may factor into, and that chart helps Dom Chidi keep pace with the game.
Yeah, you know what? I think they all kind of have a pretty good feel and an understanding of how Buck's going to work as well. I know Dom's down there and does a good job of keeping guys on their toes and ready to go, but nice pitch by Brad Brock.
There's Dom Chidi out there.
Pretty good at bat here with Robinson and Brock going head to head. 95, dotted down and away. Not a lot Robinson can do with that pitch.
I see Caleb framed that at the end, or excuse me, the new term is he presented it. But that was a strike before he caught it. That was a strike as it came to him.
Yeah, good pitch.
Here's Desmond. Swing and a miss. Desmond, a bunt single, a walk. He's also flied out. One of the other factors in the Orioles in their hopes to somehow sneak into the playoffs, they're 6 back of the wild card, is because September is a month in which pretty much, except for if you have an interleague like the O's here, you stay in your division. Cleveland is playing at Minnesota. The Orioles need both those teams to lose. Only one can. The Angels are playing at Houston. The Orioles need both those teams to lose, and only one can. So that's what makes it even more difficult. If you just say, well, they all have to lose, well, that's true, except they can't because they're playing each other.
Yeah, it's going to be tough, that's for sure, but keep playing hard. You never know in this game. Crazy things happen.
Well, if you run off 13 in a row, I like your chances, but is that possible? And he got him. Oh, what a comeback that inning for Brad Brock. A leadoff walk and a mad left. We'll head to the ninth in Washington with the O's in front. Is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. and by visitannapolis.org. Find the Chesapeake experience at visitannapolis.org. World War II Memorial. Beautiful fountains. What a beautiful city with the memorials all over D.C. And we go to the ninth and a new pitcher on.
Yeah, Blake Trinan in here, 27-year-old right-hander. Last year, a mix between bullpen and rotation. This year, all relief appearances, 53 games with that .369 earned run average. His pitch arsenal is power, fastball, slider combination. He'll rush the fastball up there in the mid to high 90s, but he has got a bowling ball sinker, two-seamer right there, 97 miles an hour, and it comes in there hard and heavy.
There's a strike, 0-2 on Hardy. Ubaldo's back on the bench. JJ had guts there.
Yeah.
Trinan got the memo in the bullpen. He's calling it off the plate. Stay out there. Weak ground ball to short. Desmond, one away in the Oriole ninth inning. Now Badu on the bench, Mike, and he is 3 outs away from a milestone win. It would be his 100th win. Now, these are the active Dominican pitchers. Ubaldo would become the 11th Dominican pitcher to reach 100 wins, and these are the active pitchers.
Yeah, pretty impressive group here. Bartolo Colon with 218, Urban Santana 124, and there is Ubaldo, and Wandy Rodriguez, and Johnny Cueto. Some pretty impressive company right there.
Parra bunts and fouls it off. Of course, Juan Marichal is the all-time winningest Dominican pitcher, and Pedro Martinez is second, and they're both in the Hall of Fame. Ramon Martinez, who has helped Ubaldo so much this year, he is fourth of Dominican pitchers.
Yeah, only 10 Dominican-born pitchers have gotten to that 100 win mark.
Now, Ubaldo would become exactly the 600th major league pitcher to win 100 games, but only, as Mike points out, the 11th Dominican. So 600 with 100 wins. There are only 116 with 200. It drops off that much. Parra fouls it back. There are 24 with 300. So you go from 600 to 116 to 24 with each 100 milestone. Tim Hudson is the active leading pitcher, and he's going to retire at the end of the year. He has 221 wins. And of course, as a starting pitcher, there is so much out of your control, not the least being the run support. Ubaldo kind of nervously looking on there. And Parra goes down on strikes, so he's 0 for 2 since coming on and 2 away.
A pretty good slider right there. We've seen a two-seam fastball, the high 90s, and here a 90-mile-an-hour slider working underneath the hands of Parra.
Buck looking over his lineup card. He'll send Jimmy Paredes up to pinch hit for Brock. Darren O'Day, who was up last inning, gets up again. Ubaldo peeking from behind Manny. And down and away, 1-0. Paredes is 8 for 23, which is a .348 clip in September. It's been in just 7 games this month. With Steve Clevenger arriving and emerging, a lot of the at-bats Paredes might have gone to Clevenger.
Yeah, Jimmy Boy, did he start off hot. First couple months. Paredes, best hitters in the game. And got cold and really lost that consistent feel at the plate.
Scope. And there's a 4-pitch walk. So that is the first base runner to reach against the Nationals bullpen. 12 in a row had been retired by Pfister, Thornton, Jansen, and Trinan until that walk. So Paredes, just his second plate appearance in the Orioles' last 9 games, draws a 2-out walk. And that'll get Nolan Reimold up for a 5th at-bat. Nolan 1 out of 4, but his 1 an RBI single that came back in the 2nd inning.
Both those base hits by Ubaldo and Nolan Reimold, 2-out base hits.
That ball's cued to first, fielded there by Robinson. He'll step on the bag, and that ends the inning. So 2-out walk and a man left. We'll head to the bottom of the 9th. O'Day's coming on to try to earn the save. Beautiful night in our nation's capital. Here's Darren O'Day, Mike, on for the save.
Yeah, of course, we're all very familiar with his pitch arsenal from the land down under. That fastball 55% of the time. He can two-seam it at the bottom of the zone and ride it to the top. Sweeping slider as well. Just a 1.52 earned run average. Picked up 6 wins and 3 saves this year. 59 1/3 innings of work. Has 73 punch-outs. Opponents are only hitting 204. Righties just 197. Yeah, he is a fly ball pitcher 64% of the time, but a nice job keeping it in the yard. Only 5 long balls.
Well, Day has a stretch going here, Mike. 8 consecutive scoreless appearances. And he loves pitching in interleague, and he's trying to save it for another pitcher who loves pitching in interleague.
Yeah, both enjoying quite a bit of success. O'Day 5-2 with a 1.94, and Ubaldo 10-8 with a 3.87. And both could prove to be integral parts of this potential win if Darren O'Day can close them out.
Michael Taylor will lead off. Jose Lobaton's spot is due. And then the pitcher spot third this inning. Darren picked up the save Thursday in the first game of the trip in Tampa and got in the game on Saturday. And Taylor lays off the slider. Taylor has 2 hits. He has a bunt single and a single to center field. 24 years old. He's out of Fort Lauderdale. And the slider for a strike. Michael Taylor, who's batting, and Matt Dan Decker, who pinch hit earlier, are both from Fort Lauderdale, and they both went to the same high school, Westminster Academy High School. But they were not teammates because Dan Decker is 4 years older. But you don't see a lot of that.
No,
players from the same high school end up on the same major league team, and they've been on this team all year. 1-2 on Michael Taylor. Upstairs with a fastball, tried to get him to chase. That's a swing and miss pitch for O'Day.
I love watching Darren O'Day work. You can tell his mind is just thinking through a hitter, how to set up a hitter, throw an at bat. A couple sliders and 3 of his rising fastballs at the top of the zone, but Taylor only bites on 1. So we are at that 3-2 count. Is he going to finish him off the way he started him with a slider? Or is he going to test the top of the zone again?
Now from 1-2 to a full count on Taylor. Lifted to right, long run over for Pierce. He'll get there. And he dropped the ball, and it's fair. Throw to second base, but stopping at first was Taylor. Another ball dropped in the outfield.
That about sums it up, but then some sloppy defense here. Both teams some miscues. Steve Pierce went a long way for this ball, but right off the pinky, part of the glove. Yeah, it was a fair ball.
A 3-error game for the Orioles. That has to be ruled an error. Yep, there it is. The Orioles last had a 3-error game on August 23rd against Minnesota, and that was a 1-run loss in extra innings. Here's Lobaton. Over but low, 1-0. So unusual for the Orioles, the best fielding team. 3 errors in the game. Junior Lake doesn't play a lot, but it was a routine line drive. Pierce plays a lot, a routine fly ball. And Scope on the bouncer tried to flip it to Hardy before he caught it. That's unlike Jonathan.
There you go. Highest fielding percentage of this season. The Orioles leading the way once again with that .988. Astros, very solid team, .987. Tigers, Indians, and Twins on that list. But yeah, very uncharacteristic tonight. 3 errors for the Orioles. Too many extra opportunities. Go along with those 5 walks with Ubaldo. I think this is one of those games where you say, whew, if they do end up holding on.
Taylor, good speed at first. O'Day trying to pick up Pierce. And he got him. Lobaton down on strikes for the first out.
Now working down and away with the sinking fastball, and he knew it was going to come eventually. Jenny Finch, the rising heater from O'Day, as Lobaton watch the bat head drop under the baseball as the fastball rides through the top of the zone.
Tyler Moore is going to pinch hit for the pitcher Trinan. The second pinch hitter used by Matt Williams, both in the pitcher spot. Outside with the slider. For 2, both times striking out against O'Day. Moore is the Nationals' most often used pinch hitter. This is his 44th at bat as a pinch hitter. He is 5 for 43, a home run and 3 RBIs. With that leadoff error by Pierce allowing Taylor to reach, the key man now for O'Day becomes the on-deck hitter, because the on-deck hitter is representing the tying run. So you want to prevent the on-deck hitter coming up with 2 men on. And that on-deck hitter, as you saw, was Anthony Rendon. Nobody getting loose behind O'Day, so it's his game to save. One pitch is foul back.
Well, Darren would certainly like a ground ball right here, but get him swinging at a slider there. He'll probably try to expand the zone a little bit and get some weak contact or a strikeout. Of course, there is that high fastball.
One and 2 the count on the pinch hitter Moore. Popped up. That'll be back in the crowd, first base side. Ubaldo's still on the bench. It would be his 12th win on the year. He'd improve to 12-9. He already leads the Orioles in wins, and he'd be 2 ahead of Wei-Yin Chen. A year after losing his spot in the rotation for a championship team. Popped up. Davis near the mound. And there's the second out. What a turnaround, of course, as Buck Showalter reminds everybody. Ubaldo's a pitcher who has a lot of pride. And he did the work. It began last year when he lost his spot in the rotation, working with Dave Wallace and Dom Sheedy on the mechanics. And, you know, Mike, it was only one start, but it happened to come in the game against the Blue Jays in which the Orioles clinched. That might have been the game that helped him get his confidence back. Because if you remember in that game, he was wild early. The pitch count was high. Buck Showalter let him go out to pitch the 5th inning so he'd qualify for the win in the clinching game. And Ubaldo was very appreciative after the game, and he went out of his way to thank the manager in his media interviews. And who knows, maybe from there it began to fall into place because he was working with Dave and Dom on the mechanics. That carried over to spring training. He made more starts than any of the starters in spring training on purpose by design. There's Rendon, and there's a strike. So, you know, maybe the Orioles have something here. Of course, with Ubaldo, it's all about that command because it elevates the pitch count. But as he saw tonight, he has outstanding stuff.
Yeah, nice bounce back year, and it's not a question of movement, that's for sure, because this ball goes all over the place. And I think, you know, he really took that year personally last year and worked hard over the offseason, came in with a newfound desire and want, and had an exceptional first half. Bump in the road right after the All-Star break, but he's having himself a very solid September.
I think he's nervous. He's really down in those sunflower seeds. Ball on a strike on Rendon, who was 0 for 3 plus a walk. Oriole pitching has walked 6 in this game, 5 by Ubaldo. Now back, they might have gotten a piece of either Caleb or umpire Brian O'Nora. And 1-2 on Rendon. Runner at first and 2 down. Davis playing behind Taylor. Upstairs, doesn't chase. So twice in this inning he's tried to get a hitter to chase that pitch, and they haven't done it.
So tempting. Very, very tough pitch to lay off of as a hitter. You see it good when you face a sidearmer. Typically, you tell yourself you have to bring him up in the zone, but Darren O'Day's the master of riding it up over the top.
Now back. The win would improve the Orioles to 3-2 on the trip and to 11-8 in September. Adam Jones sitting it out. He's still hanging out with Miguel. They've been there since the first inning.
Yeah.
So maybe you're right. Maybe Miguel's picking his brain. Adams rarely on the bench. 2-2 to Rendon. Popped up. Foul ground. Davis is there. And he misses it. What is going on with the Orioles tonight?
Tough sun? No, it can't be that.
Now, it's hard for us to tell because we're so far removed from the field if there's any wind down there. It looked like he just misjudged it.
Yeah. I mean, there might be some wind kind of swirling around down there and pushing the ball away.
So that Nats fan enjoyed it. As the Nats stay alive for at least another pitch. Strike 3 called and the ball game is over. So O'Day gets out of it. With technically 2 extra batters because Rendon's at bat continued with Davis missed the pop-up. And Taylor reached on the errors. So the Orioles win the opener here in this 3-game series after a rainout last night. And the O's now improved to 74-76. We hope you can join us tomorrow. More O's action. Chris Tillman on the mound against Max Scherzer. Our coverage on MASN 2 begins at 6:30 with O's Extra presented by Jeep. And then game coverage at 7 o'clock. And now for Mike Bordick and our entire hardworking crew, Jim Hunter saying so long from Nats Park, where the Orioles defeat the Nationals by the final of 4-1. Tonight's telecast has been a MASN presentation. The Happy Recap, O's Extra presented by PNC. Tom and Rick come your way right now.